Hello, everyone. How are you doing? Welcome to Facts and Two Cents. This is Petal. Hope you are all having a fantastic day. Hope you've had a great weekend. Welcome, welcome. As you know, we are a channel that supports the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, our two faves and their family. So, very, very exciting for some of the things that Meghan talked about on the red carpet a few days ago. And it's so amazing that there is still this buzz about this red carpet moment, not just those crazy ones on Shutter Island, but even with the entertainment industry here as well. It's like the first Hollywood red carpet. Of course, we've seen our faves on red carpets before, but for functions for the Invictus games and other, philanthropic organizations. But this is the first Hollywood kind of red carpet that we've seen them on, or not them, but at least seen Meghan on. But before we even get to that, Misan was having a bit of reminiscing, and so he posted this, and this was his reminiscing. Of course, we remember this from last year. This is at the One Young World event in Manchester last year in the UK, and that was a day or two before Queen Betty passed away. And so we remember this wonderful outfit and this wonderful, I love this photo. I absolutely just love this photo. And of course, Misan was there and he took the photo. So he was just having memories. And so it's like, oh, I miss this photo. I love this photo. Of course, there are other ones in the set that he had posted before, but this is the one he posted. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, did the Sussexes have this on their website as well? I don't remember if they had this on their website, but maybe. Or one similar, or maybe I'm thinking of the one from the Times. That could be it as well. But love this photo of our faves doing whatever it is they're doing in Montecito, doing great things. And according to Meghan and the red carpet, she's very excited for whatever the projects that she and Harry are doing. She said Harry is very excited about it. So we are just looking forward to whatever it is they're producing. And I'm assuming part of that, whatever they're producing, is the book that Netflix optioned for them, Meet Me at the Lake. I think that's the name of it. And I read it, and it's very I mean, I don't know. It kind of read like a teen romance thing to me. Maybe it's the girl who was reading it too, so it would be very interesting to see it live, on film. And so very excited. Don't know if they're going to be doing a podcast. She had said that when that whole thing happened with Spotify, that it'll be, I guess some form of it would be on with another outlet, or streaming platform, I should say. So who knows? I don't know if that's going to be part of it. So whatever they're doing, I'm very excited and looking forward to it. They're doing it under their tree in Montecito, so we'll be very excited to see when they decide to show it to us. And again, talk about the buzz. There's again still this buzz going on, and again, not just even with the UK tabloid media, who just seems to drag things out until stop beating something to death, but even also the US outlets as well. Again, they have all been talking about it. Everybody's so excited to see Meghan on the red carpet, and with Suits obviously doing so well, that is also another talking point. But one of the things that, a lot of people, especially in the UK, they see her on the red carpet. Is she going to be coming back to acting? Is she going to be coming back to acting? Is that why she's on the red carpet, to restart her acting career? And it's like the reporter from Variety even referred to her as producing, as coming out as a producer, producing content, not as an actor. Now, anything can happen. Maybe, who knows? Meghan may want to jump into acting, at some point, who knows? But for right now, at least she said that's not the direction she wants to go in. But, again, who knows? But I like her and Harry in the role of producer. producing content, and that seems to be where they are going. And I love that. For me, I'm always about creating your own content, so I absolutely love that. And so that's why I love these two photos, because at the event, the variety event few days ago, these are two people she took photos with, and they're not just two people in Hollywood, not actors obviously, but they're not just any and every person. It says people have theorized that the Duchess of Sussex would be a lifestyle mogul, unretired actor, or even a politician, but it seems that she has her eyes and heart set on producing. Exactly, producing. Thank you, She Knows, for figuring that out and listening to what she says. Harry and Meghan have been working on producing a few Netflix projects in the past year, but Meghan may be expanding her producing empire, and her latest outing at the 2023 Variety Power of Women event proves that. While she was seen conversing with plenty of A-listers, Meghan was seen chatting up the most with Janet Yang and Perlina Igbokwe. I'm hoping I didn't just butcher her last name, but Igbokwe, per The Blast. For those who don't know, these powerful women are major players, with Yang being the current president of the organization in charge of the Oscars, the Academy Awards, and Ibokwe being the current chairman of Universal Studios Group. And so I'm very excited to see if maybe, and they were all sitting, I know Meghan was sitting next to Perlina, and so I'm not sure where Janet was sitting, but I know Meghan was sitting next to Perlina, as you can see on the right there. And I would be very interested to know what they talked about, if Archewell is going to be working with them. There's something that I think there's so much you can do with the Oscars, but definitely with Universal. And I think they said the gentleman sitting next to Meghan was one of her agents from WME. So a lot of mingling, a lot of networking, I'm sure, happened during the time there. Of course, these events are big networking, A-lister networking events. And so I am very, very excited. And thank you, She Notes, for focusing on their producing. And not just Meghan. Meghan said Harry is very happy for the things that they're producing together. So I'm really happy. I'm very, very excited to see what they would do. I'm assuming there'll be documentaries, and definitely that's scripted. I mean, we obviously know Meet Me at the Lake would be a scripted film, and Meghan and Harry, especially Meghan, she just loves love. She loves these rom-coms, and she loves these, love stories. And so I'm very, very excited to see. But I love to see our fave with the power group who are doing things. And and the wonderful with this too is like the diversity, and to have women in power who are not, because we look at, especially Hollywood, it's people in power, usually white, especially white men, and then white women. And then if you look at this photo, all of these three women are women of color. And it's just like, ooh, Black women of color. It's like, yes, power women owning studios, being CEO, being president of the Oscars. I mean, hello, talk about power. And I absolutely, absolutely love this. And talking about going back to Meghan's dress, Prenza Schuler, and hopefully I'm saying that correctly. They're the ones who designed this dress, and so they posted. I guess this is their reel. I'm assuming this is their Instagram reel. They posted about it. It's so funny with this because I posted about this dress a couple of, I think, one episode ago, just talking about the dress, that I even posted that there are parts of the dress that I'm not a fan of. Like, I don't really like how the dress falls on the side where it's, the off the shoulder part. There are parts of it like that, right by her arm, where it's sort of the fabric just sort of drops weird. And so I don't really like that part, and how it sort of puckers in the back, that I didn't like that part. So I posted, and I said that in our last episode, and I keep getting these messages, and people posting about this, and to the point where people are telling me like, oh, basically that it's because of my age why I don't like it, that it's a modern fashion, so I am misunderstanding the fashion, and it's because it's something new, and that's why I don't get the fashion, and that how Meghan is flawless. And I was like, look, people, me not liking the draping of a fashion that is, one, not new. This is just a take on an old fashion that's been around forever. Me not liking the draping has nothing to do with my age. It has nothing to do with because I'm weird and that something is just modern, so I don't understand it. I have a right to not like something Meghan is wearing. Nobody is flawless. Meghan isn't flawless. She's not wearing something that I can't say that I don't like. I'm allowed to not like something. I'm allowed to not like a part of a dress. It's fine. I am not a sycophant. I'm sorry. There are going to be things about Meghan and Harry that I don't like or I don't agree with, or they're going to be parts of something that they may be wearing or they may do that I don't particularly like. I'm going to say that. But please don't leave me messages about, oh, it's because of my age why I don't like a fashion, especially something that's been around for ages. And just because I don't like a part of a dress and the way how it drapes on her body, that I mean, please don't do stuff like that, please. And I hope people understand, like, we're not sycophants here. I don't have to like everything she's wearing. I don't have to like anything she's wearing, period. She and I have very different tastes in fashion. One wouldn't be able to afford the stuff she wears, but even if I did, I wouldn't, because we have different styles. I'm very bohemian in the way that I dress. So none of this stuff would relate to me. It's not something I would wear. But again, even if I like it or don't like it, or if somebody else like or don't like, it's not because we're weird or because we're something wrong with us why we don't like a part of a dress. It's just because it's just not our thing. I am not feeling it. And so I'm still not feeling the draping on the off-shoulder part of the dress. I don't like how it falls. And it has nothing to do with my age. It has nothing to do with because it's another generation, so I don't understand. It's nothing to do with Meghan is flawless, and because whatever the reasoning, again, there is nobody flawless. There's going to be flaw everywhere in everything that we do and everything people that we are. And so please stop this craziness. Like, it's almost an insult if I say, or if someone say they don't like something about the Sussexes. I mean, people, get a grip. They are, they're not made of glass. They're going to be able to survive if somebody doesn't like something, so please don't do it. Just if somebody doesn't like something, they don't like it. It's just fine. But yeah, when you come in and you talk about, it's because it's your age or because you're weird. I mean, that's a little bit much. So just chill on that. Moving on. Oh, I love this. I thought a few episodes ago when Harry and Meghan were at the Navy SEALs event, one of the things we were talking about in the episode I talked about that was her hair. Her hair looked amazing. Beautiful, shiny, and I'm assuming that's probably when Highbrow Hippie or Katie did her hair, but it was beautiful and shiny, and oh my goodness, so beautiful. And so Highbrow Hippie, that's her handle on Instagram, she tweeted about Meghan's hair. Classic, shiny, rich chocolate brown for Meghan, Duchess of Sussex, for last evening's Variety Power of Women's event. Elegant hair by Marty Harper and makeup by Lovejet. And color by Katie. And so, yep, Highbrow Hippie Katie did her hair, and her hair looked beautiful. The color looked beautiful. The style was beautiful. I read something where someone said, not a hair is out of place in her hair. Yeah, the Marty Harper who did her hair did an amazing job, and Lovejet who did her makeup did an amazing job. Actually, there was a guy that does a lot of Sussex videos for TikTok. And then he posted on Instagram that Lovejet, the makeup guy, retweeted his video on Instagram. So I checked it out, and yeah, sure enough. So one of these Sussex guys who they're predominantly on TikTok. Her makeup artist retweeted it. He did this really cool video, just really falling all over himself about Meghan's look. And so who knows, maybe Meghan saw it as well. So kudos. And I thought this was so cute. I don't know who this lady is. I don't know who she is at the event, but she was, I mean, full on Sussex Squad geeking out, just fangirling Meghan. And her name is Alexa Losi. And I mean, I don't know who she is. Maybe she's an actress. I have no idea, but she was at the event. And so this was on her Instagram. She says, I don't geek out about many people, but this woman really inspires me to be brave. And so that's what she tweeted about Meghan, and that's their picture. I was like, oh, that's just so cute. And so this was part of her post. She says, this person, whoever Abby Miller is, says, not you and the literal Queen of England. I was like, you girl, you know who the literal Queen of England is. It's like, not you and the literal Queen of England. And this person, Serena Kerrigan, don't know who that is either. She is the sweetest person on the planet. And Alexa says, truly an earth angel. And I mean, this is the kind of thing you see whenever people have met Meghan. That's why I'm like, I don't even deal with trolls on the internet, because these are people who have not met her. They don't know her. They're just on there trying to hate on someone because their lives are miserable. And when your life is miserable, you try to make other people as miserable as you are. But the people that have met Meghan, they've all said the same thing about her. They all have had the same response to her interaction with them. And so it just like, I just was like, oh, this is so beautiful. But I always love the literal Queen of England. I'm like, exactly. Who doesn't even want to be there? She's like, I'm the Queen of England and I get to live in Montecito, California. So there. I love it. I love these ladies. Whoever they are, have no idea. Maybe you guys in the comments could let me know when I post this. Who these people are, don't know. But I'm just happy that she got to meet her hero, the person who really inspires her. And yeah, looked like they had a great time. Beautiful picture that Meghan took with her. And this was also cute. This was on the red carpet. So this reporter from Entertainment Tonight, Cassie Delora, she says, 10 seconds with the Duchess. I really don't know what else to say. Did I black out? Yep. Don't even remember what I said. Did I probably hold on to her hand a little too long when she reached out? Yep. Is this clip going to the top of my reel in loop for 2 minutes? Sorry, not sorry. Yep. She says, in all seriousness, though, she radiated a warmth in 10 seconds that I sometimes never felt in 10-minute interviews with people. As an OG Suits fan, currently on season 7 of my rewatch, these 10 seconds brought me so much joy. 10 out of 10 fan of her on TV, but 10 out of 10 fan of how she's writing her own story, following her own heart, and what she does to help women all the way. And it's just so wonderful. And if you saw the clip, it's just literally, like she said, 10 seconds of her just telling Meghan that she looks so beautiful in her outfit. And I didn't even realize from the clip that she held Meghan's hand, but it was so fast. But again, that 10 seconds of impact. And she's like, you do interviews with people for 10 minutes and you don't feel that kind of warmth in that whole 10 minutes. And again, people who have met and have interacted with Meghan, they all have the same response, how just her warmth and her genuineness and down to earth. And she just, make you feel like you're the most important person in the world as she's talking to you. And it's just so wonderful to see how these women respond to her, And so it's just like, oh, so beautiful. And this, I love this. This was so funny. So we've been talking about Suits for, oh my God, how many months now? since July. Oh, it's actually since June when Netflix dropped it, and it's been the show of the year, really. And one of the things that we've been talking a lot about, Suze, is the ratings and how many weeks it says number one, how many viewing minutes, all of those things. And the people who do all this counting, the people who do all of those tabulations so that we can get the amount of viewing minutes, how many weeks is number one, and all of those things is Nielsen, the Nielsen ratings. So when Meghan was on the carpet and doing the interview with Variety was telling her how many billion watch minutes that Suits, it was like 24 billion or something like that, watch minutes that Suits has wrapped up so far. And when the reporter told Meghan that, Meghan responded, was like, when she said it's like 20 something billion, Meghan was like, but who's counting? That if you saw the video, you'll see that. And and so Nielsen saw the video, which is the video at the bottom. You can see that video at the bottom there. When Nielsen saw that, they tweeted, but who's counting? Us. It's us. I love their humor. I love that they picked up on it. And of course, as Variety was saying, Meghan Markle, Duchess of Sussex, on the success of Suits, it's hard to find a show to binge watch with many episodes these days, so that could have something to do with it. But good shows are everlasting. But I just love that Nielsen picked up on when she says, "But who's counting?" And they're like, "Who's counting? What do you mean who's counting? We're the ones counting. We're the ones doing that work and letting you know that it's 24. How many billion watch minutes? We're counting. It's us." I love it. So maybe at some point Meghan will recognize Nielsen and recognize their hard work. Thank you, Nielsen, for counting and letting us know how many minutes Suits has racked up and how long it's been at number one. So I love their humor. I absolutely love them. What else is going on? The Crown. I don't know if you guys are watching The Crown, but after last season's debacle, I think I got to episode, what was it, 4 or something like that. I just couldn't. I'm like, this is nonsense. This is just ridiculous. This is rewriting history and bowing down to the royal family and caving to their tantrums and the British press tantrums and the government figures who were featured in its tantrums about, this is not correct and all of that nonsense. I mean, they just really sort of tried to rewrite history. And of course, everybody blasted it because of that. Because, I mean, hello, we're all alive when this stuff was happening. Some of us were paying me. At the time it was happening, I knew about Princess Diana. The rest of them I didn't know about. But a lot of this stuff, a lot of people are alive, and you try to rewrite history and make Charles look like this hero and make Charles look like the good guy, and the way how they portrayed Diana, which is like, whoa, wait a minute. I just could not continue with that series. So I wasn't surprised to see it get blasted again. And not just Rolling Stones, a lot of others have really panned it and really just have horrible things to say about this. But the Rolling Stone says The Crown has become lame royalist propaganda, which is I could not have picked a better title than this. It has become lame royalist propaganda. As the Netflix series has inched closer to the present, its criticisms of King Charles and the royals have noticeably softened. Yeah. And also the, what's his name? Peter something, received, I think, a CBE. Yeah, that'll do it really well. That will definitely do it. It's how the royals buy people's loyalty. I was just so disgusted the last season that there is no way I will go anywhere near this thing. Because, it's just, they have basically been bought in, whether it's the CBE or whatever, and whether they're just smarting from all the pushback they got from the press, the tabloid press, and some government officials, and obviously, Charles becoming king, all of a sudden they started portraying him as this kind of a hero guy. I mean, And when they started doing the thing, when they featured a whole episode about his Princess Trust thing where he's breakdancing at the, I was like, oh no. Oh no, 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 no. I just couldn't. I was just like, what? What? It just was ridiculous. And so there's no way. So I'm glad people are calling this out for what it is. And so a little bit more about the season from this article, they are attributing what the crown has become, this lame royalist propaganda, from, again, whether it's the palace going after them, claiming it's incorrect, whether it's the tabloids about, oh my gosh, they're trying to destroy the royal family, or government officials that was featured in it really just panning it and calling it vicious and all of that stuff. They have definitely, again, changed course and started rewriting history as to how horrible the royal family is. And according to this, it talks about definitely softening its tone. So a little bit about it says the media. And so instead, what they've done is, instead of going after the royal family, and tie it into how horrible the media is, but that does not excuse the royal family's behavior. That does not give them a pass. But what they're saying that this season has done is painting the press as the absolute villain of it and sort of giving the royal family a pass. And it says the media is in many ways an appropriate choice of villain. It's hard not to conclude that if these men, and they were all men, had acted differently, Diana would still be alive today. The behavior of the tabloids is also reminiscent of how famous women like Britney Spears and Meghan Markle have been hounded by the press. If Prince Harry's record-breaking memoir Spare is to be believed, which it should be because it's true, the royals are still cozy with the same tabloids that engaged in this behavior. It's a relevant issue. Says the Crown, villainizing the media also feels strategic, convenient even. They are a nebulous and unsuspect target. Crucially, they are outside the royal fold. The closer the Crown has gotten to the present day, the show has become more hesitant about assigning blame to specific people, particularly its royal heads. Exactly. And painting Charles all of a sudden as this sympathetic great figure. Right, sure. It says it could be a coincidence, but it seems as though the show's writers saw this backlash from the press, the government officials, and the royals. They saw this backlash and overcorrected themselves. Not only was a disclaimer added to season 5, but it was also much more positive about Charles in particular, who is now played by Dominic West in a truly glow up of glow ups. Yeah. There was even an entire episode that focused on his charity, the Princess Trust, which felt borderline sycophantic. It was not borderline, it was sycophantic, and that's why I stopped watching. Not coincidentally, season 5 was also the first season to thoroughly underwhelm critics. Multiple episodes could have been binned entirely. The royal drama has never been less relevant. Read The Guardian's 2-star review, while the BBC called season 5 a badly told soap. The Crown has also been a form of royalist PR, let's face it. Even subconsciously, this is a show that humanizes obscenely wealthy and powerful people who are literally born to rule over and colonize others. Portraying them as flawed is a key part of that. But towards the end, its criticisms of the royal institution and those who navigate it have felt more cautious. The Crown has become too simpering and has suffered for that reverence. And this is word for word exactly what I'm thinking. A lot of it, what we said the last season, is exactly what they did. And it's exactly why I, for one, stopped. Because I'm like, this is ridiculous. This is utterly ridiculous. And if you notice, the seasons before, the actors and the show, they were getting awards. People were praising it. They could not wait to get it. And then last season and this season, everyone is like, this is ridiculous. And I'm glad that they're calling it out and calling it out like this, and specifically calling out, their treatment and the writers and the producers and directors treatment of the royal family. All of a sudden they've become it's become this propaganda thing where their job is to, rewrite history and make the royal family seem like these wonderful people. And then all of the horrible things they did, especially to Princess Diana, is all of a sudden painted in this light. And you're like, wait a minute, people were alive when this was happening. This is ridiculous. And so I'm glad people are calling it out. They're getting bad reviews. Nobody's gonna be awarding this. And it's really frustrating to see someone create something so special and started out with it so special to then cave to the royal family and cave to power and then completely ruin their work. For what? For a CBE or an MBE or knighthood or whatever. I mean, talk about selling out your credibility and selling out your art for approval from these people. I don't even understand why they would do that. It makes no sense, and especially when you're trying to sell this to people who've been alive. The majority have been alive when this stuff was happening. And if they got anything historically incorrect, as historians in the UK have said, if they have anything historically correct, the fault is the royal family, who has been really not allowing them to get these documents that they need, put it out there for the public to know exactly what the ins and outs of the royal family. They have gone to court. They have been for years. There are so many things about the royal family that historians don't know, because the royal family are keeping all the documents. They're keeping all this stuff about this family secret. And so historians can't do anything, so people can't get the correct information. And I remember a historian writing last year when season 5 came out that if there's anything that is incorrect, it's the royal family's fault, because they have all these documents that historians need to put out there in the public domain so people could know stuff, and the royal family has kept it under lock and key. So he was like, look, if there's anything these shows get incorrect, it's the royal family's fault, because they will not release the truth. They hold on to these things so they can rewrite it in hopes that people down, generations down the line wouldn't know the truth. But with social media, that's not going to work, because we know in real time, and even though for example, the BBC has banned the Martin Bashir interview and stuff, we have other works from Princess Diana. We know the story. We know what happened. So none of this like trying to make Charles look like this beautiful person, this heroic figure, is going to work. No amount of doing that, because now he's king, so you feel like you need to suck up to him. It's ridiculous. And again, I don't understand why they would do that to their work and allow their work to become this propaganda too. I mean, that boggles my mind. It boggles my mind. So anyways, moving on from this nonsense. This happened. I always say she's a squatty, but she's not really a squatty. She posts stuff about all the royal family, but she posted this today. It's the only place I saw it, but I don't even know what it means. But it's has to do with Prince Harry's court case against the Associated Newspapers, or the Daily Mail, and it says King's Bench judges daily cause list. Don't know. Josephine, thank you for posting it. And again, as you can see, it's the same judge that did the ruling last 2 weeks ago, that the Harry and Elton John and those guys' case can proceed and go to court and go to trial. So they're having some kind of a hearing tomorrow, the 21st, November 21st. And it says Prince Harry, Duke of Sussex versus Associated Newspapers, and its consequential arguments. Don't know exactly what any of this means. It says the court has handed down judgment remotely. Further hearing has been fixed for the 21st of November 2023 to enable the court to determine the orders that should be made consequent upon judgment. The reporting restrictions order will continue in the meantime, and as previously directed, will be reconsidered at further hearing. Don't know what any of that means. The court anticipates that it was the case As it was the case with the original hearing, there is likely to be interest from media representatives and members of the public in attending remotely. And they go on and on about that. But there's some kind of hearing tomorrow. I don't understand, don't do legal speak. So I don't know what this means. So maybe if Leslie is on when we're on, maybe Leslie could explain, because I haven't got a clue, or anyone else with a legal mind. I have no idea what any of this means. So I put it out there so somebody could help us. Anyway, so moving on. Well, this was one of the funniest things I saw yesterday. Someone on Twitter, one of our squaddies on Twitter, posted this. And this, I have to say, this is like one of the funniest things I've seen in a long time. I mean, things are hard in the within the British press, and I'm assuming from the font and the way this is set up, this is something from the Daily Mail, I'm assuming. And even though they didn't put which outlet it was, it seems like a Daily Mail. It's so silly. It's something that I'm assuming the Daily Mail would have done. And it says, a card handcrafted by Prince Harry when he was in nursery reveals a hint of a future that no one could have imagined for the young royal. And so this is the little, whatever it is that Harry did, and he put "Love Harry" with little stars and stripes. And so I was like, surely not. This was Harry's 38? So 35 years ago, Harry created this, whatever this thing is, with hearts and, and stuff on it. And you're like, seriously? This is... I'm telling you, it must be really hard times for the British press, because when you're going to have to go back 35 years to get a story of a 3-year-old Harry, innocent little Harry, drawing something with stars and stripes, and you've connected that with, well, back then, he was revealing a hint of his future. I mean, where would they even find this stuff? Where did they have to go to dig up this little artwork from a 3-year-old? It is... I am like, are you serious? And who would have given them this anyway? I mean, did they go to like some storage bin or something to get Harry's artwork? I mean, this is so ridiculous. And then again, you realize, because there have been a lot of reporting about how the readership for a lot of the UK news is literally going down and down and down and down and down. So every time you see one, there's always a lot of them is in the negative, not as negative as I would like to see them, but it would explain this nonsense. I broke out laughing when I saw this. I was like, are you serious? This is how far you've had to go back to get information about the Sussexes? Anyway, so very tough times with the British press. No wonder they're just making up lying stories after lying stories. And I'm sure you've probably seen this, the latest lying story from Lionika about, I don't know how many times this woman has to be slapped down because of her lies about Harry and Meghan, but she seems to have no shame whatsoever. I mean, how many times do they have to call this woman out for her lies? I don't know, but she keeps lying and lying and lying. And it's just like, woman, what is wrong with you? But anyways, tough times, man. Tough times for the British press. Anyways, this talk about snubbed times 100 climate list. And look who is not on that list. Mr. Earthshot himself. It is very, very funny that William just had a climate event in Singapore, the Earthshot Prize, and somehow he was snubbed. Because again, it's so funny. I meant to bring in all William's hypocrisy, like that burgundy helicopter that he uses like an Uber, his many homes, the fact that the royal family have exemptions from Scottish laws for their homes in Scotland. They have exemptions from following climate laws. The fact that there's sewage in the water in the UK. I mean, people are getting sick from sewage in the water. There's so many things. And if they had a press in the UK, the one that really focuses on the royals, they would be calling them out for all of this stuff. I mean, think of all the private jets. They always like the Harry and Meghan are climate hypocrites and never report. I mean, Kate and William were just in France for their rugby things. Private jet there, private jet back, both of them separate, traveling there, private jets. It's ridiculous. It is even the going to Singapore was, I mean, you could have done this stuff on Zoom or something, or be in the UK, whatever. But Earthshot Prize, who's supposed to be the next Green Nobel, was not on that list. That speaks volumes. It speaks volumes to the kind of impact or lack of impact that William has made in this area. That, again, you just did this supposedly major thing, and you're not anywhere on that list of 100 people. That should give you pause. That should give the people who are reporting on this pause. That he is nowhere in there, because, again, this has nothing to do with the climate. This is William. Someone mentioned this. They're like, this is William's version of pitch at Palace. You know, that scheme that Prince Andrew had, where people pretty much had to pay to come and pitch, and then he kind of teamed them up with they teamed them up with business people to see if they'll fund their projects and stuff. This is what this is like. Even when he was in New York, William specifically said this is not about philanthropy, it's that people could literally make money off of doing this. So basically what they're doing, in a sense, is people bringing billionaires in so that they can invest in this, but really invest in a way, so not because they are so into climate change and all of that stuff and trying to make a difference in reversing climate change and all that stuff, is so that they can make money off of it. And so he literally said, this is not about philanthropy. This is about making money. And that's what he said. I mean, I don't know if he was supposed to say that out loud, but he did. And so it's just very interesting for me that, yeah, that should give them pause. And that if there were reporters, that all of those who like to claim that the Sussexes are snobbed here and there and every which way, none of them have written about, at least not that I've seen, about the fact that William is not on this list. If William had any kind of impact, why is he not on this list? And so, they're going to hide it and try to come up with something about the Sussexes are not coming for Christmas, or they're coming for Christmas, or they want to come for Christmas, or some stupidness like that, because nobody wants to deal with the fact that this whole thing, this whole Earthshot stuff is a mess. That's why I always call it the Earthshot mess, because it's not anyway, moving on from William and his nonsense. Anyway, he ain't on the list. He's snubbed. So there. Real world is happening, still going on. It's just so great to see people all over the world. I'm telling you, London has been doing amazing. They have been week in, week out, amazing out there protesting and really supporting and getting in the faces of who need to get faces I need to get into, to put the cause of the Palestinian people before the world. And Iraq, look at Iraq supporting Palestine, Turkey, France, Germany, the US, so many countries all over the world. I just saw Yale. I think it was a football game between Yale and somebody else, and it seemed like the protest took over the whole game. I mean, at least the clips that I saw, where they were just protesting and really amazing. And so, and then there's also this. It says Spain's Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez announced his government's decision to recognize the state of Palestine. So we've seen this in a couple of different places. A couple of different countries are working on stuff to recognize Palestine as its own state. So this is good. I mean, it's slow process going forward. The people of Palestine are still dying. Israel is still killing people. The United States has not backed down in their support for genocide. And so this is still happening. They're still bombing schools and hospitals at will. And, it just, everyone is saying, we've never seen this before. We've never seen this before. And they keep doing it and then lying about. I have never ever come across a people that just lie like this. It is just, it's just, it's kind of like you're watching Donald Trump times a million. And the funny thing is that they're so bad at it and they keep getting called out left and right. And especially love the TikTok generation, Gen Z. They are on it. I mean, they are on this whole thing and calling it out left and right. Jewish kids from here who go to, they have this thing in Israel called Birthright. They go on these Birthright trips. They basically go and learn, I guess, about the so-called motherland of Israel. And they are telling their stories about what it's like, and their experience of how much hate they have for the Arab neighbors, and really Arab people, period. And they've come back very disturbed, and they're sharing their experiences on TikTok. They are exposing APAC. That is and I keep saying, if you don't know who APAC is, every single American need to know and go online and research APAC. And they are the most powerful Jewish lobby group in Washington, that most of your senators and most of your Congress people are pretty much bought and paid for by APAC. And I'm talking in the hundreds, both Republican and Democrat, including our president, including our Senate Majority Leader, Chuck Schumer, including our the Democratic leader, Hakeem Jeffries. Yeah, they're all bought by APAC. And so when you see all of these people like, oh, Israel has a right to defend itself and all of that stuff, know that they are bought and paid for. And so these people are not, the fact that they are, the United States have all of these issues. I mean, look at whether it's healthcare, whether it's homelessness, feeding the poor, all of this stuff, that we don't have money for that stuff, but they can have a $14 billion package to go to Israel. Like, wait a minute, you are taking American taxpayers' money and giving it to another country when you're not taking care of your country? That should give you pause. Why are these senators and why are these Congress people passing these bills to send all of this money to a foreign country? And this country that they literally cannot stand up and speak against, this country that's literally committing genocide, and they cannot say anything negative about it. They cannot speak the truth about it. They have to go along with it. That should give you pause. That should really be like, wait a minute. To understand that your government does not control the people who you voted for, are not in control of this country. The president of the United States is not in control of this country. Who is in control of this country? Israel. They have all been bought and paid for by Israel, and they cannot, I mean, please, again, if you don't know anything about APAC and these other groups, these other lobby groups that pretty much owns these senators and Congress people and president and whatever, go and figure it out. When you hear, think of whatever state you're in, go to APAC. They're not even hiding it. It's on their website. So you can see all lists of 300 and something. I think it's about 300 and something Congress people and senators who, on both sides, Democrat and Republican, who they basically bought. So go there and then call your congressman. And then when it's time to vote, go vote these people out and vote in people who are not bought and paid for by a foreign country. So that's all I'm going to say on that. Moving on. Oh, we talked about this. I felt so sad when I saw this. A couple of days ago, we heard that Rosalynn Carter was going into hospice care and, end of life care. And she passed away. And I was like, it's so sad because we've been talking about Jimmy Carter and we celebrated his birthday and all of a sudden he was in care. He was in hospice care, end of life care. At the beginning of the year, everybody thought it was time for him to go. And even his family had given him like a few days. And he is still here today. And so we celebrated his birthday a couple months ago. And 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 then she was put into hospice care a few days ago, and then now she has passed. And part of me feel like he was just not willing to go and leave her here. And now that she is gone, I wouldn't be surprised, because you see this stuff a lot of times when people have been together for so long, and when one goes, the other is like, okay, I can go now and join her. So I wouldn't be surprised. But no, seeing how he has been like eating his peanut butter ice cream and just, I am not ready to go. I'm going to go when I'm ready to go. Would I be surprised? No, but I also wouldn't be surprised if now that she's gone, that he feels like I want to go and meet her and be with my Rosalynn. And so I feel so sad. But part of me feels like he hung on there because he did not want to leave. He did not want her to have this heartbreak of him leaving her here. And so, but it's just, it's sad. But look, nobody knows how long anybody has here on this earth, but sending huge love and condolences to President Carter and the Carter family and all of their, the friends and people who are around them. So yeah. And she was 96 years old. Wow. She's had a they both have had long lives. So, and good people, very good people. So yeah. Also, if you have not seen Tyler Perry's film, his documentary, Maxine's Baby, please see it. I saw it yesterday. It was so good. And if you've read Higher is Waiting, it gives you some more content, some more stuff. There was some stuff in Higher is Waiting that's not in here, and there's some in here that was not in Higher is Waiting. But it was so good and so inspiring. I'm like, so if you haven't seen it, go see it. You will definitely be, you'd be inspired. So kudos to Tyler Perry, and great job. A wonderful documentary. So yes, congratulations, Tyler Perry. And look at top movies in the US. Prime. I mean, whatever Tyler Perry does is just, it's either sold out or is just doing the best. I mean, the man is one of the most successful producers in the US history, really. And so yeah, I go see Tyler Perry and support Tyler. So anyways, finally, Team Nigeria highlights unleashing Invictus spirit. Meet the team, and here are some incredible moments of the ongoing endeavor. And so Team Invictus, team in Nigeria, they are practicing their sitting volleyball there and doing their stuff, getting ready for next Invictus games. And just, I mean, again, Invictus is all during the year, so it's not just the games. But it's so cool to see so many some new faces that I had not seen before being a part of the Invictus team. So you go, Team Nigeria. Looking forward to seeing you guys in next games, obviously. So yeah, but that's it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. And when I drop this later, I'm assuming some of these guys may be here. Lydia Chishnelli, Karen M, Cookies and Cream, Black Queen. Thank you guys so much for always just being there and taking care of the chat and making this nice, safe space. Thank you all so much. Thank you to our 2 Cents crew who support the chat, support the channel on a monthly basis. I appreciate everything you do. Thank you also to our Gold Star supporters who support in the chat. Thank you all so much for your donations, whether it's there or PayPal or Cash App. Thank you. I appreciate every single one of you. So, but anyway, thank you guys. That's it. I love you guys. Have a great day. I will talk to you soon. Bye.